Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. We're going to be talking all about grounding your practice. And this is really to set the tone for the next videos that you're going to be watching. And it's also going to help you really get in the mindset of why this is important. Because I really want to bring this into your awareness. Because some of the practices I'm going to be sharing with you, they're going to sound very simple. And you're probably going to think, man, this is so simple. Like, you know, is this really going to have that much of an effect? And yes, it will, especially over the long term. The thing about simplicity is that we want to complicate things. We want to overcomplicate things. We want to have a million steps to finding happiness. And happiness and joy and love is really simple. The thing is, it's not easy, okay? If it were easy, we would all be living in that way. And so that's where the crux of it is. There is a certain level of challenge, focus, and energy that you'll need to put into this, and you will reap the benefits. There's a saying I like to share in this program and with the people that I work with. When you take one step towards Creator, Creator will take 10 steps towards you. And the practices in this program are the beginning stages of taking steps towards Creator. And I hope that you will take many steps in the weeks and months to come. I want to outline a story for you that'll help you understand what I'm talking about. Because once again, I'm going to be sharing things and you might think like, man, yeah, I already know this stuff, right? Or, oh, I've already meditated. Or, oh, I've already tried that. And let me just stop you right there, because if you already knew and were already in a place of trying it and doing it, then you wouldn't be here and you wouldn't need more help. And so you're here because you're asking for guidance. And what I'm going to outline is the things that I've learned and that have been shared with me, that have been proven with myself and with my clients to work, and have been proven for literally thousands of years to work, okay? Everyone is unique and everyone's results, will vary, and the time frame varies. Some people it's like that. Other people it takes a bit more time. So, when I first started this path of finding healing in my life and spirituality, it began over 10 years ago. And I was in a dark place. I had a lot of suffering, sadness, emotions, and difficulty in my life. And my seeking for healing brought me all over the world, all over North America, South America, to many different ceremonies, many different elders and teachers, guides and mentors, and healers, shamans, whatever you want to call them. And I sat in circles and ceremonies and prayers, and I did everything I was supposed to do, or so I thought. And I would go and I would have insights, and spirit would come, and I would have amazing interactions with the spirit world and with my own heart and being. And yet I would feel so good in those spaces, and I would return to life. And in my life there was the familiar anxiety, darkness, fear, suffering, pain. So I would go back to the ceremony, get recharged, go back, and it was this unhealthy relationship because I couldn't function without the ceremony. And it was unhealthy because I was relying on this external thing. And I needed that, and it's okay to lean on things, right? But I learned the importance of self-reliance when COVID happened. Because as COVID happened, my living situation changed as well. So it was kind of two in one. I moved to a new location. And I lost all my community, and I lost all access to community, ceremonies, travel, prayer, and I was lost. And what I realized during that time is that I didn't have a daily practice. For all these years, I had no daily practice, and I relied so heavily on these spaces. And so I began to microdose, and I began to create a daily ritual that began with microdosing and involved many other things. And I continued to live that for years, up until this day. And, it involved many different techniques, and I'm going to be sharing those with you. the cornerstone, and when I started doing those techniques and I started a daily practice, I reached a point where I actually didn't need those ceremonies anymore, because my life had become a ceremony. I had found the healing that I so desperately desired by going inward and living a different lifestyle and creating a new way of life for myself. And that's really what I hope to share with you. I hope that these next 3 months can create a foundation for you to begin living a new way of life and to begin the process of healing, transformation, and evolution. So, one of the things I want to talk about is the cornerstones of this program, because there's 3 main cornerstones of this program that we're going to be talking about in detail. And we've already touched on them: prayer, meditation, and ceremony. Sounds simple, right? So the reason that I share those 3 things is because, from my experience, they are what make us human. They are what allow us to be who we truly are. Why do I say that? Well, every single human culture, spiritual, religious, indigenous, except our modern culture, which happens to be very sick and unhappy and not much of a culture. It's generally, capitalistic or communistic. And there's been an intentional cutting out of the spirit and of God. And people are suffering because of it. And so when we look before that, every single culture had prayer, meditation, and ceremony. It is part of being human. And as you come back to a place of those 3 things in your life, you will return to balance and you will begin a process of healing and transformation and evolution. So prayer, we already talked about this. Speaking your intention, manifesting it into the physical. Meditation, spending time to contemplate, to sit, to learn. Because prayer will bring you knowledge. Prayer will bring you insight. Living life will give that. Books will give that. Meditation brings you understanding. Meditation anchors it in an experience. For me, meditation is so incredibly beautiful. Because I know what you're thinking. You might think, meditation's boring. And I get that. That's what I thought too. Until my teachers shared certain practices and techniques with me, and also attuned me to these energies. When this happened, meditation became literally as powerful as a psychedelic. My meditations will often be on par with some of my psychedelic experiences. And not always. Some meditations are dry and I can't quite get there. And other meditations are huge, intense spiritual experiences. And no matter what, I meditate every day. And ceremony, right? So we have prayer, we have meditation, the act of sitting, contemplating, and being with spirit. And ceremony, creating a space in a container for love, for joy, and for creator. Often done with community and in a circle. But you can do it on your own too. Because life is a ceremony. When you live life prayerfully and with consciousness and meditation throughout your day, you begin to realize how much of a ceremony your life truly is. And so when we can cultivate these 3 things, we come into balance. And that's what I hope you can get out of these next weeks and months to come. One of the things I wanted to touch on is the 4 parts of being a human and what it means to be a human. So you notice the hue. I've separated it from the man. Hue. A light bulb has a hue. Humans have a hue, an aura. And when we live in a good way, in a clean way, in a loving, joyful way, our aura becomes brighter. That's why we love being in spiritual places. That's why we love being in nature or ceremonies, because our aura brightens and we feel greater love and joy. And we attract beautiful things into our life. Man is connected to the Sanskrit word manas, which is the ability to self-reflect, the ability to be aware of oneself and to be aware of the ego and the personality, to have that conscious awareness. And so that's what it means to be a human. And when we pray, meditate, and live life as ceremony, our hue becomes strong, and our ability to self-reflect and be aware of our patterns and dysfunctions and our gifts is strengthened, and we become whole again. What does it mean to be whole as a human? It means to balance the 4 parts of yourself. You have 4 parts. You have a body, you have the physical, you have a mind, you have the mental, you have emotions, you have the emotional, and you have the spirit, you have the spiritual. Our culture focuses on these 2, and they often forget about these. You've probably done a lot of work here, and maybe even some work here. In this program, we're really going to be focusing on the spirit, but the practices often include these 3 parts because we need to be in balance. We need to feed each part of ourselves in a healthy way. Meditation and prayer feeds the spirit. And in another way, it does feed these because it brings these into balance. It focuses your mind. It will begin to purify your emotions, which will naturally bring health to your body. There's also some meditations that we'll be offering here, like breath work, that really help, especially here. Breath work is amazing for healing and nourishing the body, calming the mind, and clearing out emotions. So that's really the foundation here. And I really hope that in these weeks to come, you can commit to these practices. I know this is a lot of information, and I know it may be a little overwhelming to think, man, how am I going to fit this into your day? Well, here's the cool thing. We've set up this program to make it very accessible. And if you're not able to fit this into your day in the way that we outline, then it may be wise to really reassess your lifestyle, because it really only should take you, 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how you break these things down and what you choose to do, to really do these practices. And you can break that up into 3. You can do 3 20-minute things throughout your day. We're going to talk more about that coming up, but I really want to plant that seed of make the choice. Choose that now is the time to heal, to transform, to shift out of these patterns, to let go of the fears and the doubts and the insecurities and the baggage that's been really holding you back. This program is here to help you, and the mushrooms and the microdoses are here to help you. They really go hand in hand, and they will activate and strengthen the magic of this medicine. So I hope that this was helpful to get you in a mindset, to get you excited, and to help you see why it is so important that you follow these practices and do them for the next 3 months, and to continue them beyond that so that you can truly heal. Thank you for watching.